Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Wayne, and today we are talking about Jpegmafia's All My Heroes Are Cornballs. First things first, before I get into the album, I know the setup looks a little different, just a different angle, and obviously I'm not doing a reaction today, but don't worry about that. Later on in the video, we're going to wild out. Don't worry, we're going to listen to some music. But I just want to get to some of the things that I liked and disliked about the album, which wasn't a lot. I didn't dislike a lot from this album, and some of the themes that I was able to pick up on that kind of make this album what it is. So what this format is going to allow me to do is going to allow me to review a lot more albums at once, opposed to having to react and sit down for 3.5 hours reviewing, trying to get 2 videos out in the weekend. This is going to be a lot easier for me as far as editing and managing my time. So hopefully you guys like this new format. If not, it's gonna be here. So so let's get into what I liked about the album, which was a lot. I liked a lot from this album. I'd say first listen, I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoy it now, which is always the tricky part with first reactions. So one thing that stands out to me now, though, is how cohesive the production is. The production from start to finish is mixed a certain way to make you feel almost like claustrophobic on certain songs, and then each song has its own texture and set of colors. It's very interesting how you could really tell the production was almost the main focus on this project, just making sure from song to song that they transition into each other almost seamlessly. I challenge anybody, if you're gonna listen to this album for the first time after you see this review, listen to it without checking what song you're listening to. Just press start and go all the way to the end, and I guarantee you most of the time you will not know when it's gone to the next song. I've noticed some songs even have 2 to 3 switch ups within 3 minutes, so it's pretty crazy. My only complaint with this album is that some of these songs are a little too short for me. That's kind of the only thing that I don't like, but the songs that are longer are definitely the standout tracks. Songs like Grimy Waifu, Jesus Forgive Me, I Am a Thot, great titles. Kenan Vs Kel, Beta Male Strategies, All My Heroes Are Cornballs, Thot Tactics. These are great titles, man. The one thing I want to talk about is kind of the theme I was able to pick up on with some of these songs, because I don't feel like there's an overall concept with this album. It's kind of more of like it creates a universe for all these songs to live within, just based on how he approached each song. But there are a few songs that really stand out to me as far as the lyrics go, which is Frail. It kind of talks about his newfound fame and his status in the industry, and now he has a bunch of fans, and now he kind of feels the pressure of what he's supposed to say in his music, or how he's supposed to approach music, and how he's supposed to release, and how he's supposed to act. And I really like the pre-hook in the song, where he says, "Don't rely on the strength of my image," where he's kind of trying to understand his newfound status and try not to change his attitude and his approach to music because now people are watching. It was easy for him to make music that was different or outlandish, or what some people call ridiculous. I wouldn't say those things, because this album is amazing. But this being different, or not being afraid to be called weird when nobody's watching. And now that people are watching you and expecting you to make that type of music, it's almost like he feels like he lost his creative edge. And I feel like he's almost like a troll in a way, where he's telling his fans, you're going to be disappointed with this album. But I feel like that kind of fits the mood of this album a lot. And he kind of talks about the same thing on Post Verified Lifestyle, which kind of brings it all together, where there's a skit in the middle of the song where she's saying, where he's talking to somebody, and she's saying, like, you feel like you're being put on the spot and you're supposed to be saying something, and he's like, wait, what? Like, is that what's going on right now? And it's like he hasn't identified the issue. He just knows something feels different. But I really like that there's some depth in this album. It's not just random or weird for the sake of being weird. There's purpose to it. Now, I could go on and on about the production on this thing, about how he's able to go from a very grungy, very gritty production style, and then go right into some pretty chords like we're listening to Flower Boy. But man, like, that's almost like every track on this album, the way he's able to transition from mood to mood to mood, and then make these track transitions very cohesive. It's amazing. It's awesome. I'd have to say the sequencing of every song felt random at first, but the more you listen to the album, it starts to make sense. Now, I want to talk about the mixing really quick before we go into some of my favorite moments off of this album, which is a lot of the mixing is almost over compressed, or some of the elements of each song is side chained to the kick or the bass of each track, which gives each song this kind of pulsating, almost like a heartbeat type of feeling, because even the vocals are compressed in a certain way to where they duck out whenever the kick comes in or cuts through the mix. So it's very interesting, and I'm usually not a fan of that type of mixing style, but honestly, Jpegmafia made it work on this album, and it just fits. I feel like if the production was too polished or if it was too lush, it might take away from the creativity that he put into the album, and it just might not come off the same way. And some of the other things that I liked about this album was the moments of, you know, skits in between each song, even if it was 2 to 3 second clips, where it was that moment, that insight, almost like a behind the scenes clip of the in the making of some of these songs, or some of the moments or breakdowns of some of these songs, like where I forgot what song it was, where he gets a group of people to clap in the studio and they're trying to do it on time. It's just little moments like that that create a lot of character around the album and make you feel like you're a part of the process. And the mixing style also contributes to that feeling, because it's almost like each track is being made as you're listening to it. So because there's certain songs where the volume will duck all the way down and come back in at random moments, and there's moments where there's a DJ scratch that'll go through and then it'll come back at a completely different tempo than the original part of the song. So it's very interesting. There's a lot of randomness on this album, but you know, I feel like there's a method to the madness when it comes to Jpegmafia albums. I definitely need to go back and listen to the full body of work that he released last year called Veteran, but I just wanted to go into this with a blind eye. I've heard a few songs from Jpegmafia before, but I never heard a full project, so this was a really great experience for me. I definitely think this is one of the best albums that have come out this year. Now, album of the year, we don't know yet. We still have 3 months left, but I do definitely think it's a contender for a lot of people. I do have a few albums ahead of this album, but you know, that might change by the end of the year. You know, the more that I listen to it, the more things that I find to appreciate, the more lyrics that I pick up on, then, you know, this might be number one. So with all that being said, all the boring stuff out of the way, let's get into some of my favorite songs on this album, or some of my favorite moments. I'd have to say one of my favorite songs on here is the lead single, Jesus Forgive Me, I Am a Thot. This song is insane. The way those chords come in. So the way that it's real calm and moody right now, and then it goes into this part. I felt like Jesus Forgive Me, I Am a Thot is the perfect intro into what this album was going to be. You're going to get real hard beats. You're going to get really aggressive flows, but then you're also going to get that very calm and soothing sound with the chord progressions, and some of the decisions he chooses with the sequencing. It's just very interesting how he's able to go from mood to mood on this thing. It's great. You better count my blessings for real. Amen. Dude, when he goes into that higher register of his voice, man, it just sounds great. It's hilarious, because there's something endearing about him purposely not singing it like the greatest and just slapping auto-tune on it. It just sounds good. Like, he knows that he's not a grade A singer, but that's not the point. It's just for dramatic effect. It's great. Now, the next song I'd have to say that I really like off this thing, man, it would have to be Grimy Waifu, dude. This song is amazing. This very chill vibe with this constant kick and that random duck out. Like I always say, there's a random duck out on a lot of these songs. And that guitar sounds amazing. Some you Mr. Grimy Waifu is coming at you. This my Grimy Waifu. There's a lot of moments on this album where he really shows his ability to write a hook. He shows his ability to really catch your ear with some melodies, and I'm going to go into some other songs where he does a really good job of really captivating you with harmonizing, and you know, he's actually way better at putting melodies together than people will give him credit for. And the song that I feel like really displays that ability, there's two songs that I feel. Never take it down, bitch. I wanna rock your world. I wanna rock your girl. It's almost like I don't know the words. His ability to write a song and really come with good melodies as a rapper in the realm that he's in it's fantastic to hear how versatile he is. It takes a certain type of comfortability or confidence in yourself to create production like this. You have to know when you're going too far, and you also have to know when you haven't gone far enough. And you've really cracked the code on that. I like that. One of my other favorite tracks on here would have to be Prone. Just the aggressiveness on this thing is insane. Fool! See? Tempo change. Man, like, I just like a lot from this album. You could go to the description to see the rest of the songs that I really enjoyed. I just kind of wanted to play a few songs that were my favorite. If I had to give this thing a rating, it would probably have to be a 9 out of 10. Real solid album. It's great. Not a lot of people could step into this realm and really do what Jpegmafia did on this album. So just based on the versatility, how many songs I liked, really the experience I gained from this album, because this is one of those albums you listen from track 1 all the way through. And there's songs that you could pick out and just listen to as standalones, but most of this album I feel like you need to listen to it from track 1 all the way through. And man, whenever albums make me feel that way, that's how you know it's something amazing. So yeah, shout out to Jpegmafia, man. Keep doing you. Take your time on the next album if it sounds anything like this, and I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, leave a like on the video if you really enjoyed it. That really helps me out. Leaving likes helps me get into the recommended tab, and definitely comment down below so we can get a conversation going about this album. Subscribe for more weekly videos. Definitely comment down below any albums that you want me to react to in the future, because I think we're going into another dead week. I don't think anything's coming out next week. I could be wrong about that, but so yeah, thanks for coming back. It's your boy Wayne, and it's been real. Peace.